Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat. And sorry it's been a while for videos, but we've had a lot of trouble here in Melbourne with the Wuhan flu COVID-19 lockdown, and so we haven't been able to do this at all. But we're back, and we're just going to do a lesson today on the form fields order when you press the tab or the enter key. This is something we should have done, but we never got round to doing actually in the original Dog Club course as we were going along. All right, so remember, I'm a bit of a slow talker, so on that YouTube player bar where it's got the tools cog, click on the tools cog and go to playback speed and just increase it to 1.5 or 1.75, and you'll probably find the video flows a lot better. Now, this isn't a really long lesson, so we're not going to have an index timeline for it. That's for other lessons, but for this one, we shouldn't need one. Okay, now you'll need the database was made in the Create Form Buttons lesson and fixing the buttons. If you've got that database, you can use that. Otherwise, you can get the database, if you look in the YouTube description, there'll be a link. You can get the database that's the tab order start database, okay? And you can use that and that'll load up and have the things we need for this lesson, all right? And the downloads for this lesson are free as well, so you can get that from the link on the YouTube description. Now, things you need to remember, in the previous lessons, we've set up this Dog Club database so there's no ribbon and there's no left navigation pane when it starts up. And it'll show the splash screen first and then the main menu. So all you'll see is this, and you won't have your usual ribbon up at the top, and you will not have all of the components listed down here on the side. Now, to bring those in so that you can do this lesson, you have to press the F11 key to open that side navigation so you can see all of the components, or if you're on a laptop, probably hold down the FN, the function key, and then press F11. And you'll also have to on here, there's a show ribbon button on this main menu that opens up. And if you click that, the ribbon will come up. And if you do hide ribbon, it goes away. But you want show ribbon, so you've got the ribbon there. Otherwise, you won't be able to get into like the design tab to do things. There is another way you can start up the database. If you hold down the shift key and then double click it in Windows Explorer after you've downloaded and then got it on your computer, that should work as well. But anyway, we'll just show you that quickly now. Okay, so here we are in our folder, and this is the actual database that we've got. Now you'll notice when it starts up here, see how it's just a splash screen here with the picture on it, and then what's going to happen is we get this main menu, but we've got no ribbon at the top and no side panel here. So if you just click show ribbon, that'll make the ribbon show up, so that's all good. Now to get the side panel with the components, because we want to work on the members screen form and the dogs form, if you just hold down the FN key and press F11, so we're just trying to do function F11 key, and then we'll have this usual side panel, and if you press it again, I think that hides it. Okay, so we want that navigation pane open by pressing the function 11 key, all right? And then we can close this one. If you want to, you can just right click and close that. And let's look at the members form here to see what we're dealing with. Now with tab order, when you're in the member ID code, if you're entering things and you press enter, notice it goes to the last name, and that's good, that's where you want it to go, but then it jumps across over here to phone number, then it goes back to first name, then it jumps across to email address. So it's sort of jumping side to side, and we don't really want that. We want to fill in like their last name, then their first name, then do their address stuff, then we want to come over here and do this stuff. And that's what we're looking at in fixing up in this lesson. All right, so there's a few things you need to know also about the lesson in terms of form view modes. That there are 3 modes. If you go to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen in Access, you'll see these 3 icons down the very, very bottom right-hand corner. Now, the middle one is Layout View, which is what we do most of our work in. This one here, when you open a form, it's in Form View. That's the view that the user uses when they're using the database. and that's like the read mode version of the form, if you like. And this last one down the right hand side here is design view. Now we'll actually be using design view today because it's in design view where you can change the tab order or the order that those fields go down the screen or across the screen or whatever. So we will actually be using design view. And how you can get into them, another way is if you're on the home tab up the top, you can just click this view in the left and pick any of them here, any of the three, and we'll be using design view as you'll see when we work today. So, but when you're testing your forms, of course, make sure you're always in form view, that first one, because that's kind of like the read mode. Now, the default access field orders we just showed you isn't suitable because what happens is it goes from last name and jumps across to mobile number as we saw. Then you do your first name, then it jumps to email address. You can put in your street, but then it jumps across to membership fee. So it's kind of doing this left, right, left, right, left, right. And that's just how Access has set it up. So if you use the Enter key or the Tab key to jump between fields, which is kind of around the top left-hand corner of your keyboard, it's just going to do this left to right stuff, which is not the best order and not what we want. What would be more logical is if we could do like the last name, the first name, their address. So go down this side of the form and then jump across and go down the other side. That's what we want to get. And that's the whole aim of this lesson, is to just change that field tab order. And that's what we're going to be doing, okay? So now the order we need them in to have that happen is, we've just jotted this down here, member ID, last name, first name, street, suburb, postcode, mobile, fee, amount, and paid. And we've also got them on this little piece of paper here because we'll be able to refer to that when we get into the actual access screen that we do it on. So open the members form, go into design view, and on the design tab, click the tab order icon, okay? So this is what we need to do. Get in design view, open up the form first, then go to design view, make sure on the design tab up the top here, and then click on the tab order, okay? So let's just jump across and do that right now. We're in form view at the moment. So we're just gonna go on the home tab up the top here, view, and get into design view, okay? And we are on the design tab here, and you'll see that there is this tab order. If you go into layout view, our usual way of working, you'll see into the design tab, there isn't a tab order, okay? So we've got to be in design view to do this. We don't usually use design view, but for this one we are. Design view, design tab, and then just click on tab order. Now what it's going to show you here is the order it's doing it at the moment. And you can see that it is doing the member ID, then it goes to the last name, then it's jumping across to mobile number, okay, which we don't want. Now, how we reorder these things is a little bit tricky if you watch the left-hand side of this screen. Now, there was something about here. Oh, see this auto order button? Do not use auto order, okay? Do not use it because Access kind of comes up with this wild way of ordering the fields, which will be way out of any sort of order that makes sense. Okay, so we want member ID code first, so that's okay here. Now, the next thing is how do you select these guys to move them? And this is really weird too. You've actually got to click in this gray box. See, there's member ID code, then there's a little gray box here. You've got to click in that to highlight it. So member ID code's all right, last name's all right, but then we want to go to first name. So what we can do is we click in that gray box to highlight it, then you can grab it and just move it up. So now it's going member ID, last name, and first name. Okay, now mobile number is still here, and email address. The next thing we want is street. So we click in this gray box of street and kind of move it up, push down the mouse key and move it up and drop it there. Then we need the suburb, so click in the gray box, move it up till you get the line underneath street and then let go of the mouse and it goes in there. Postcode, if you click in here, nothing happens. You've got to click in the little gray box, then it's selected, then you push down your mouse button and drag it and have that big solid bar while we're still pressed down on the mouse button underneath where we want it, which is suburb, then let go of the mouse button and it moves. Okay, then that's all the left-hand side done. Then we've got our mobile number, email address, membership fee, fees paid amount, and member join date. So these guys here are actually already in order, so we don't need to shuffle them around at all. Okay, so everything now should be shuffled into the correct order, so it'll go down this side and then go down the other side. So we click on OK, and if we change back to form view, we should be able to test it. So if we click in here and use the tab key, for example, see how it's going down the left-hand side, then it goes down the right-hand side, and that's exactly what we wanted. Now what happens next? It's actually going to these buttons down below. It's on the next button, the new button. You can hardly see it, the save, the delete, the close, then I think it goes to the picture, then it goes on to the next record. And if you press the enter key, it's the same. So if you're entering in a brand new member, you'd be able to type their last name, and then automatically when you press enter, it'll go to this one. So you can put in the first name. Then when you finish that, press enter, it goes to here. So this is the order we want. So up the top left-hand corner, click the save button. And then to close this form off, oh, there's no X there. Okay, that's because we've done some changes with this. There is a close button that closes the form. And if you use that one, if you click close, it'll close it. Now just notice your pictures won't flow like this. You'll probably have the same picture on everyone. That's okay. Or you'll have no picture actually, probably when you download the database. So if your database isn't showing pictures, the practice one, that's okay. We don't need the pictures for what we're doing anyway. If you wanted to get pictures, you'd have to go back to the pictures lesson in our course and find out how to do that. All right, so let's go back here to the instructions. All right, so as you saw, what we did was, let's go up one. Yeah, we've clicked that tab order, and then when you click that, what happens, as we saw, was that this box will open up with the tab order. All right, and we don't want to be in form header or form footer. Make sure you're in detail so that all of these show up, and then we want these to go down like this. Okay, so I got to reshuffle them. And member ID is okay, and last name's okay, but mobile number isn't okay. We need to move first name up to where mobile number is, and you saw that we did that. So you're able to download these instructions for free and just refer to them if you've forgotten how to do things, all right? So don't use the auto order, remember that. We mentioned that'll make it a crazy order, which you'll then have to do a lot of work fixing up. So it's a bit tricky like we showed you. You have to click in this actual gray box area, that'll highlight it. Then you push down your mouse and you can move it up to where it needs to go, okay? Now if you moved it into the wrong spot, you can just click in its gray box, push down the mouse button, move it back down and release. You'll soon figure out, I'm pretty sure, how it works. And then we can get it into position, and then we're all good and we're ready to click in the gray box of the next one that we need to move. So we wanted to get them in that order, and we repeat all the steps. So here they were in the mumbo jumbo order. That's what they should look like after you fix them all up. Then you click the OK button and test it to make sure it works. So when you press the enter key, it should go down through those ones, then down through these ones, as we saw when we did ours. And that's pretty much all there is to fixing the tab order. Then it went across the buttons for a while, then it'll go back up here to start again on the next record. Now the docs form has the exact same left to right tabbing problem. So it goes from the rego number to the member ID code. So they're all going left to right like this, which we don't want. We don't want that order at all. But you should be easily able to fix it by going into design view and getting on that tab order and doing the shuffling around, just like we did on the members form. So that can be a little challenge task for you, just so you get all these ones coming down and then these ones coming down, all right? So that's a challenge task for you, which you should be able to do quite okay. And that's it for really all you have to do. So all there is to do now is just save the database. So remember, you go up the top of the screen. So let's just show this to you actually. Okay, so let's close that one. And so we need all our items closed, okay? So you would have had the main menu open when you finished. See the members docs form, let's just look at that. See how the tab order is all wrong in that? So you need to write down on a piece of paper like this what the tab order should be. And look, once you've done this a few times, it's really easy. Design view, tab order. Now basically, what do we got here? Rego number, municipality, that's okay. Then the dog name's okay. Then we got the person's first name. All right, so where's their last name actually? All right, so first name, if we click in that, we could move that down. That needs to be after last name. Then we've got the email address and the mobile phone. So the easiest way to fix this up actually is to take email address, whoops, and see if you made a mistake, just grab it again and go one more time. After first name, and then mobile number at the end. So if we go and grab mobile number by clicking in that gray box, take that down so it's after email address. And member ID code needed to be before last name, okay? So just drag that up to there. And that should be it. And these are all in the right order now. If we just say, okay, we can always come back in and try again if we didn't get it quite right. Let's change over to form view, click in there, and let's try our tabbing. There we go. It's going all down the left-hand side and then all down the right-hand side. Okay, so let's just right-click and save that. Right-click on this top bar on it and close it. And then for saving the database, that's what we're going to do. Save as. So you go save database as. Need an ACCDB access type as usual. Click Save As. And I'm having a big cough. I knew that would happen sooner or later. Now it's gone to PC Documents. Very annoying how it does that. Why doesn't it just remember where you opened up things from? So now we've got to go all the way around the whole place here, looking for everything. Gee, we've done a few lessons on Access there. So this will be our tab order demo. Let's just call that demo done. All right, and we'll save that with our other databases we've got there. Now we'll restart and go on to loading up that main menu again, but there's an exit database button here. You can just press that and exit the whole database. Okay, so that's saving the database. Just find a folder where you're keeping your stuff. Call it tab order finished if you've got your one finished. We already had a finished one, so we just called ours demo done. Doesn't matter what you call it as long as you save it. If it's already there because you've saved it once before, just say yes to replace it. And remember that our full Microsoft Access courses, we've got two of them. MS Access is the more advanced one. The beginner's one we suggest you follow in order is the MS Access SDC. Okay, so let's show you that quickly. All right, so here we are. So we go to MS Access SDC. Let's hope this isn't too slow to load up. It is too slow to load up. Right, so here are all the lessons. Creating tables, database screen forms, adding images. If you won't have images in the one you download probably, but if you wanted to fix it up so you could go and click on that lesson and watch it. This lesson will be down here somewhere. Or we might just put the links in the YouTube video actually and not even put it in here. We're not sure yet, but go to the YouTube video, you'll be able to get the links. So add photo button lesson. Oh, we've still got to do that one, under construction. All right, so typically of our lessons, you click on there. Well, click to go to lesson. Just thinking about it. Oh, I'm surprised this is so slow. That's the phone going nuts. Right, here we are. So it tells you a bit about the lesson, steps you're going to be doing in the lesson. What is in the video, these are all the things. This is a much longer lesson to today's ones. And there is a video there, you can click on it and then watch it full screen in YouTube. 1080p, so it's crystal clear. And that'll be all good. Okay, so where are we here? All right, so thanks for watching. That's the end of fixing up the tab order on screen forms. And I've got images on screen, images of screen forms up here. End of tab order. Oh, maybe they should have said tab order up there. Oh well, just as well, the mistake's only at the end. So remember, subscribe to our channel. Although with this Wuhan Chinese flu lockdown in Melbourne, we're not getting a lot of our stuff out at the moment. We probably won't in the near future. The demands for making this remote learning materials for the part-time job I've got, my goodness, it's only part-time. And I've just been under the hammer, sometimes 12 hours a day doing work. It's been horrible. So I don't know how many videos we'll get out. And we need to do some Microsoft Excel videos urgently. And then we'll get back to Access again. But look, subscribe. Eventually things will be back on track once this Wuhan flu COVID thing finishes. And then we will see you in the next lesson.